Hi everybody, it's Dan O'Connor, and today I'd like to talk about a simple tip that we can all use when dealing with difficult people. It's simple, it's effective, you've seen your parents do it, but we forget to do it when it comes time to deal with difficult people ourselves. Today's tip is the broken record.
Communication training with Dan O'Connor.
I can't stress enough how useful the broken record is and how effective it is. In fact, I have three principles that I always start out with when I come to dealing with difficult people in a seminar or a book or an audio or a video. I always start out with, these are three principles. And one of the three principles is use the broken record. Use the broken record. Like, let's say that I were to say to my nephew, which I have not said, let's say that I were to say to him, Amen, you are to be in this house by the time the clock strikes 12. Not a minute after 12 o'clock. And he were to say, Uncle Dan, all of the other kids get to stay out until at least 1 o'clock. Broken record it. Remember, if you are in a situation like that, or if you were to bring a realtor to your house, situation that I had just recently with a client of mine, she said that a realtor came to her house and said, appraised it, and said, this house should be listed, and this was the one who was selling the house, so he wanted a quick sale. This house should be listed at 185. Now, she had done her research and knew that the house should be listed at, let's say, 201. I can't remember exactly what it was, but something like that. And she found it very difficult when a realtor or something like that said, no, I really think it should be listed at 185. She found it difficult to respond to that and counter it and say, no, I think it should be 201. And so in the past, what she found was she would compromise. In the past, what a lot of parents find is when their kids argue with them, they respond to it and they say things like, well, you'll notice that Carlos's mom isn't a good mom. And when we start changing our message, when we actually answer somebody's banter, when we answer somebody when they're trying to break us down, that's when all the trouble starts and we come unraveled, because instinctively people notice that when they try to chip away at your story and you start changing your words, saying, but really, Carlos's mom is, she's just out drinking all night. Of course she's not going to let him stay out. Or if you were to say something to a realtor like, but I did all of the comps and I think that this should be priced at 201. They're going to come back and they're going to think off the bat, they're going to think, I got him on the run. Because we know when we counter somebody and they start changing their words, changing their story, engaging with us, what happens is they think, got you in the run, and they're going to keep going and going and going, more so than if you simply implement the broken record. And say something such as, well, that may be, but this house needs to be listed at 201. Well, but I was doing some comps just today and the neighbor's house sold for 165. Well, that may be, but this house will be listed at 201. Or, for example, Eamon, you are to be in this house by the time that clock strikes 12.
Uncle Dan, everybody else gets to stay out until 1.
Well, that may be, but you are to be in this house by the time that clock strikes 12.
Uncle Dan, you are totally unreasonable.
Well, that may be, but you are to be in this house by the time that clock strikes 12. And when you do that, just repeat the same words. People know by the third time, oh, all right, this is one of
you gotta be in this house by the time the clock strikes 12.
And remember, that's fine. I don't repeat myself for you. I repeat myself for me. It makes my life easier, it's more effective, and it gets us through this communication situation and on to the next one in a jiffy. So check out all of the other videos on this channel. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe. This is Dan O'Connor. I'll see you next time.